From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your afternoon update.
You want to go where to buy a new refrigerator? Steve's A to Z Appliance in Cottonwood? In Cottonwood? Just a 10-minute drive. And they'll save us money. New and used, honest, reliable, factory-trained repair service and parts, and they'll save us money. And dispose of this thing? We gotta make the short drive to Steve's A to Z. Thanks, son.
Steve's A to Z Appliance, front and main streets in Cottonwood. Drive a little, save a lot.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Krueger. You're watching your afternoon update, and the thunderstorms have yet to start, but they will be developing later this afternoon. And we're going to be looking at more of those mountain thunderstorms not only this afternoon, but most likely tomorrow afternoon before things at least start to quiet down, because Thursday, there still may be a chance for some of us in the higher elevations here as well. Now, the valley, I don't anticipate anything today, but tomorrow I think there will be better chances as we see the system itself just kind of push off to the east. And as these storms move to the east, we'll see some of those thunderstorms that develop west of the valley to move on in. We'll get into that a little bit later here, but we also have a continued threat for dry lightning, not only today, but tomorrow and possibly Thursday as well. Temperature-wise, it's getting warmer, and we're going to see even warmer temperatures for tomorrow, especially in the valley. But after that, temperatures will start to drop, and it looks like it'll be more bearable heat, that is, at least as we go into your 4th of July weekend. All right, taking a look at your neighborhood forecast for today, just at a quick glance. Yeah, we've got thunderstorms in the forecast for most of the higher elevations. And parts of the coast could see some showers as well. So let's take a look at your fire weather forecast, sponsored by Garmin's Tractor Service. We're going to start off with the red flag warning. And once again, this is something I mentioned this morning. We're looking at Modoc County, Lassen, and Eastern Plumas counties, not part of the red flag warning. In my opinion, it should be. And that area over Mount Shasta City should be under a red flag warning as well. Bottom line, there are going to be thunderstorms across the board in the higher elevations, especially today. Tomorrow is going to be that chance as well. And anywhere there are thunderstorms, there is that potential for dry lightning. So that's something we have to pay attention to. Now you can see here that we are looking at the fire potential, and you can see the different categories. The red means lightning is in the forecast. Now, as I mentioned, I wanted to bring some of that red down into Plumas and even Lassen counties around Susanville and Chester, for example, because there could be some lightning strikes there as well here for today. In fact, the fire outlook does have that area. Now it's getting a little aggressive for those lightning strikes here. In fact, it got a little bit more aggressive since this morning. It was mainly in the Redding area. Now it's pushing it down southward into Red Bluff. But again, I think most of the thunderstorms will be in the higher elevations, and I don't anticipate anything in the valley, at least just yet. So we take a look at your winds, and mainly the winds that we're seeing here over the next few days are going to be generated by thunderstorms, not by an overall pattern that's bringing us gusty winds. It's the thunderstorms that'll bring us those gusty winds. So we go into tonight, and still get the areas of orange and red indicating where those thunderstorms are. Now look at Wednesday. You see we're seeing some reds in there for parts of the valley. That's the potential for a thunderstorm developing Wednesday afternoon in the valley. That could bring gusty winds as a result. And of course, we'll be looking at some of those gusty winds in the higher elevations as well. Going into your Thursday, those winds overall not that bad. So again, we're not looking at any major wind events. Again, the main winds we're seeing over the next few days will be thunderstorm generated. Now the humidity is still low, but it's a little bit higher than we're used to. And I know this may sound crazy, especially for those who may not be from this area, maybe from somewhere where it is humid. When you look at these humidity levels, they're quite low. But it certainly feels a lot more muggy out there, and there is a reason for that. All right, let's go ahead and take a look. Of course, we're looking at the humidity. It's low, but it is getting higher and higher each day, just by a little bit. And there's a reason for that. So we have the monsoon moisture that's typical this time of the year over the desert Southwest, the Four Corners region. Utah, Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona. That's the typical areas where we see most of that monsoon. Typically, it can work its way into Southern California, into parts of Nevada as well. Now, the area of low pressure that's just to our south yesterday and today is tapping into that monsoon moisture. So you see the area of low pressure, the counterclockwise flow around that low. What it does is that flow goes into the monsoon moisture, picks up some of that moisture, and then brings that moisture into Northern California. So that's the source of moisture that we're getting, and that's the reason why it feels quote-unquote muggy, at least by our standards. Then we go into Wednesday. That pushes a little bit more to the east, but it's still transporting that monsoon moisture into Northern California. We see more thunderstorms as a result. Now what's going to happen is that area of low pressure Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening continues to push to the east. Any thunderstorms that develop will move from west to east. So you can see as that moves on to the east, it dies out. But then we have an area of low pressure, or a trough of low pressure. See the dip in the jet stream moving into Northern California? That is going to tap into any leftover moisture. So the moisture at this point is no longer being transported from the desert Southwest with monsoon moisture, but there will be some leftover moisture in place. And that trough of low pressure that's moving through on Thursday will bring a chance for some more thunderstorms, especially to the east, Modoc County, Eastern Mountains, and maybe even Siskiyou County. Then by Friday, all bets are off. We're not looking at any more thunderstorms in the forecast. That's the case through the weekend and even into next week. The monsoon moisture stays put over the desert Southwest, but we're not tapping into it, so we remain dry and we begin to warm back up as well. All right, so let's take a look at, this is the HRRR forecast that we're looking at right now. And this is the latest data coming in. I think it's being a little overly aggressive, but the in-house forecast model I don't think is aggressive enough. So I want to show you this and just kind of downplay how intense it looks. But I do think we are going to see the potential for thunderstorms in Trinity County. Some of those could extend into eastern Humboldt County. But notice as you head to the north and west, I'd say Del Norte County, for example, may stay shower and thunderstorm free. But we still have more thunderstorms in Siskiyou County, Modoc County, Lassen County, and some of those could extend into eastern Shasta County as well. Now, I do expect them to get even a little bit more intense. In fact, much like yesterday evening, we saw the most intense thunderstorms in the late afternoon and early evening hours. I expect that to be the case again here for today. And you can see most of those by tonight will be to the north in Siskiyou County, northern Trinity, northern Shasta, and parts of Modoc County as well. Now you can see as we take you into Wednesday morning, so that's midnight tonight into early Wednesday morning, we are seeing that all move out. Now let's take you to our in-house forecast model. I think it's doing a pretty good job in indicating that we could see some showers to start off tomorrow morning, but that's all most likely going to evaporate before reaching the ground. Kind of like what we saw this morning. You can see the clouds, you can see the streaks coming from those clouds. That was the rain, but then that rain evaporated before reaching the ground in the valley. And I think that'll be the case again here for tomorrow morning. Then we go into tomorrow around midday. Showers, thunderstorms just beginning to develop. And look at this. Remember I was talking about thunderstorms developing west of the valley. They then roll into the valley in the form of showers and possible thunderstorms. Now I think the best chances for thunderstorms in the valley will be around Redding, maybe Red Bluff, mainly west of I-5, but some of that could be creeping east of I-5, especially in the north end of the valley. Siskiyou County, Modoc County, Lassen, Plumas, all seeing that potential for thunderstorms, but slimmer chances for Trinity County on Wednesday. And then by Wednesday evening, most of it's off to the east. That moves on out. Now we're going to take you into your Thursday. Now Thursday, I think what we're going to see is most of the activity developing in Modoc and Lassen counties by midday, and then through the afternoon just working its way to the north and east. Now I can't rule out a chance for a shower or a thunderstorm in Siskiyou County as well on Thursday, but overall the activity on Thursday won't be as intense as what we're going to see today and once again tomorrow. Now let's switch gears. Let's talk about the temperatures. They are increasing over the next few days for Redding up to 103 degrees by Wednesday, down to 93. Yes, a nice dip in our temperatures here by the time we get into the 4th of July. All right, so here's your forecast for today. About 100 degrees, give or take here for the valley. Thunderstorms in the mountains, temperatures there in the 80s and 90s. And for the coast, for the most part, you're dry with temperatures in the low to mid 60s. Tonight, we are looking at more thunderstorms, especially to the north. Otherwise, looking at those temperatures fairly mild, especially in the valley, only dropping down into the low 70s. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast for the valley. We are going to be looking at those temperatures dropping by Thursday. I've included a chance for showers and thunderstorms, especially for Redding and Red Bluff. I think those chances will be slimmer for places like Chico. Then you can see for the coast, another chance for today, but otherwise fairly dry. Chance for thunderstorms again Wednesday for places like Weaverville, but those chances are going to be slimmer as I think most of the activity will be east of Trinity County on Wednesday. And we take you to Siskiyou, Modoc County, the Eastern Mountains. Thunderstorms this afternoon, tomorrow afternoon, and maybe a chance lingering on into your Thursday as well before we're finally done with the thunderstorms altogether by Friday. And that's also the 4th of July when we expect the coolest temperatures. The temperatures will start to increase but remain dry as we go into the weekend. That's your afternoon update. I'll be back again this evening at 6 o'clock. Have yourselves a great afternoon.
Fire spreads quickly. Don't wait until it's too late. Garmin's Tractor Service specializes in field mowing and light tractor work to help protect your family, your property, and those around you. We're fully insured, locally licensed, and ready to help you create the defensible space you need. Call or text Garmin's Tractor Service today. Protect what matters before fire strikes you.